Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the last session of day 2 of the Synergy series. This session is all about the Saudi Sustainable Vision 2030 and how we can align the cleaning industry and practices with this vision. Now, sustainability has been at the heart of Vision 2030 since its inception. Saudi Arabia is now ushering into a new era as the kingdom aims to reach net zero by 2060. But before we get started on this discussion, let's meet our panel members. Joining us today for this session is Mr. Ibrahim Moawad, Director of Housekeeping, Accor, Mr. Andrew Turner, Institutional Divisional Manager, Riza Hygiene, and Mr. Iyad Butin, Senior Sustainability Consultant at EY. A hearty welcome to all you panelists. We appreciate you being here today. Just a quick reminder for the audience before we get started. If you have any questions, please type them into the question box on your right, and we'll bring them up during the session. So let's start this discussion. We are very excited to talk about the Saudi Sustainable Vision and how we can align our entire industry in terms of manufacturing, in terms of housekeeping, in terms of cleaning processes with this vision. So tell us about the sustainability scenario of Saudi in the past 5 years and how has it evolved? Mr. Andrew, if you can start on this.
Sure. So sustainability in Saudi, if we go back 5 years ago or even 10 years previous to that, it was almost nowhere. So we introduced Reza Hygiene sustainable chemicals, sustainable projects and ideas to Saudi Aramco, to KSA, probably about 10 years ago, but it was too early for the country, for the kingdom. And in fact, probably too early for a lot of kingdoms, a lot of countries. And now it's come on leaps and bounds in, say, let's not go back 5 years, probably the last 2 to 3 years. So when Vision 2030 came out and got announced, sustainability was a key concept to Vision 2030. But where we've seen the real kind of drive and the development in sustainability has really been with the advent of the mega projects. If we look at NEOM, Red Sea, Amala, going further to Qiddiya, Diriyah Gate, they've really taken Saudi Arabia to a next level in terms of what a sustainable project could be and should be. You only need to look on LinkedIn and follow the projects like Red Sea, like Amala, and see every other day there's a new award, a new thing that they are bringing to the industry in terms of how a sustainable project can work. And we're seeing that filter down then through subsequent industries, whether it be the hotel industry, the facility management industry, even restaurant and retail. And we're beginning to see them taking on board these concepts in line with Vision 2030. So whatever is being implemented in the likes of Red Sea, Amala, NEOM, people are taking that on board and realizing that actually these are concepts that should be and need to be introduced throughout the kingdom. So I'd really say 5 years, they were almost nowhere within the kingdom. Last 2 to 3 years, particularly the last 18 months, I can't go into a meeting with a customer, with a partner, with a new site without sustainability, green, environmentally friendly being mentioned. So it's really come to the fore in the last sort of 18 to 24 months.
I agree with this. In fact, it's not just in Saudi, but in the entire Middle East, the conversation around sustainability has only catalyzed in the past 2 years. And it's interesting how it has accelerated. Iyad, if you can add your opinion to that.
Yeah, thank you, Samia. Just to add further into what Andrew just mentioned, I fully agree. Like, working in the professional services industry, we were like previously chasing people, trying to convince them of sustainability and how it can enhance their business. But in the past 3 years, or maybe from 5 to 3 years, things kind of changed. Businesses realized that they need to become more sustainable. They need to kind of have the sustainability vision and make it embedded into their operations. It became more like from an optional to being more of mandatory and also guided by a lot of global requirements. Just to add on to what Andrew just mentioned about like the PIF and the sustainability vision, how it kind of accelerated this transitional period. we can't also like neglect the effects of the Paris Climate Change Agreement in 2015, how this also caused the big oil and gas companies, especially Saudi Aramco, to drive further the sustainability agenda. And this can be translated into what we in the like how we saw the green strategy being announced. I think in the past four months or so, net zero is becoming like a global trend. Everybody is wanting to become net zero, decrease their emissions, and everybody is becoming more responsible from the environmental aspect, but also we cannot neglect the social aspect as well. And like what benefit would this bring upon the wider society?
Certainly. Mr. Ibrahim, would you like to add to that?
So actually, I would like to add about what has been already told by the talk. So this is very important to add as well in terms of housekeeping or cleanliness or even hospitality field. I was astonished a little bit about the way of communication has been shared in Saudi Arabia during the last 2 or 3 years. It's not only a specific sector working with sustainability. It's all sectors like a harmony, symphony for everywhere. It's all sectors are working with very good rules and very good, let's say, steps has been placed everywhere. I was lucky last year to participate in several projects in Saudi Arabia, not in one place. I was lucky to participate in Neom, in Zin Al-Ula, and in Jeddah, and in Mecca, and even Medina. So the rules has been placed for sustainability is implementing on time, at the same time. And everybody is working with the same level of information and communication. And of course, as you all notice, that communication here in Saudi Arabia is very important through many websites and social media. So once the rules has been approved and accepted, every sector are working with this one. So that makes sustainability here is highlighted. And one of the target of all organizations, not only hotel sectors, not only cleaning sectors, but everywhere is having already targets for sustainability. And all of them are working with the same level of professionalism to make sustainability is continuing in a professional level.
Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, Mr. Ibrahim. You can certainly add a very interesting perspective to this conversation because you are from the housekeeping side, you are in the hospitality sector, and
Exactly.
the hospitality sector is going through a lot of changes when it comes to sustainability.
Actually, it was a very good communication happened between, especially in housekeeping, and also with the help of engineering department. Saudi Arabia having a proper plan for sustainability, and even not say only in the business of hotels here in Mecca or in Riyadh, or no, it was in Al-Ula, very far from the capital, and they were putting many rules, and it was implemented on time. So when it is shared, I can share even if you want, when it is shared, and even if you can Google it, it's very valid points, and they pushed everyone to do it. Very comprehensive, very professional, and every sector has to do it.
Certainly. So coming to the Saudi Sustainable Vision 2030, our audience wants to know more about it. We want to know more about it. So tell us about the Saudi Sustainable Vision 2030. Mr. Andrew, if you could begin on that.
So the Vision 2030 is an absolutely incredible initiative for the kingdom. It's really nowhere else on the planet is taking something to such a level where they are putting sustainability targets on every single industry, every single sector, and every single area within the kingdom. And the idea really is just to drive sustainable practices throughout the kingdom and to reduce the reliance on the oil industry, drive practices in terms of lowering energy, lowering water consumption, making it less waste, going essentially carbon net zero. And it's something that we should all heavily get behind. As ourselves in the hygiene industry, the hygiene industry traditionally has been almost one of the worst offenders when we come to damaging the environment. We create a lot of waste. We use chemicals in the past that have been significantly damaging to the environment. And over the years, these have obviously, we've made through, in Europe, they did it many years ago, starting with things like the Biocidal Products Directive to reduce the amount of biocides going into water treatment and waterways. But we're taking it to the next level in Vision 2030 across all industries to make improvements where we can and wherever possible.
Certainly, I agree with you on that front, because our industry up till now was not working for the environment. I think it was rather working against the environment, and it is only now that the awareness is spreading more and more, that initiatives of sustainability are accelerating and that we are aligning ourselves with the greater goals of sustainability.
Absolutely.
Iyad, you are a sustainability consultant. So
Yeah.
tell us about the Saudi Sustainable Vision 2030 and tell us your thoughts about it.
Yeah, so I think Andrew covered it well in his explanation, like by looking at the environmental aspects of the Saudi 2030 vision and like the ambitious targets that it has set. We can always talk about the environmental targets and aspects because they are tangible and measurable, but we should not also neglect the fact of the social benefits and aspects that this vision sets. There's a specific or standalone program under the Vision 2030, which is the Quality of Life program, and this program aims to improve the quality of the citizens and residents of the country. And this can be translated into a lot of ambitions. And if we want to translate it to the cleaning industry, it can be by implementing safe cleaning and hygiene practices. Because implementing a safe practice, putting on the required safety processes and procedures enhances the quality of life in general. It reduces impacts. It enhances the quality, the health quality across sectors and across wider sectors, not just the cleaning industry. So to summarize, the environmental targets are clear, they are there, and hopefully the kingdom is working towards realizing them. But we should not also neglect the social aspects and the social benefits that this vision puts into place.
Certainly. Mr. Ibrahim, would you like to add to this? What are your thoughts about the Saudi Sustainable Vision 2030?
Actually, Saudi Vision is not only working with one aspect of the sustainability. They have a proper plan, and even they are sharing this one in their professional website. They are working with different areas of aspects of sustainability, and they have a proper plan for every sector. They have a plan for climate. They have a plan for water, especially. They have very long beach in Saudi Arabia with so many challenges coming from water, from underwater, and also they have a sustainable plan for agriculture, environmental, and also they have a plan for the normal life, for the natural life, for the climate, for even the cleaning sector. Actually, they didn't forget anything for sustainability. If we consider one of them, what is the most important point are touching or are related to the community, I would say this is the cleaning sector. Why? Because cleaning sector are participating every single place, and it can be direct communicating with guests, with people, with citizens, with visitors. So this is one of the big major issue they are planning with. And what makes you astonished as well, they put as a proper plan for the climate itself. They have what will be now, what will be after 2 or 3 years. They have a plan with levels. When you accomplish this one, they go to the next level. And they are following up with every sector level in the same time. So this vision is perfectly has been made for sustainable. And also what makes this one different, that it's not a paper or it's not a good article shared by websites. It's on the field as hospitality or as hotels. They came to us to audit, to check, to make sure this chemical or this rules are implemented on the floors, on the field, on the workers and employee. Even they have a proper for the rubbish, how you get rid of it, the way of dealing with this one. And even they have a plan even for the oils coming from hotel or from sectors. They have a plan for each and single point in to make the sustainable vision succeeded.
What role can the cleaning industry play to achieve this vision? Now we have understood about the Saudi Sustainable Vision. We understand that it covers a very very nice goal, a very achievable goal. But what role then can the cleaning industry play to achieve this vision?
Okay.
Mr. Andrew, if you can start on that.
Sure. The cleaning industry's got a huge role to play in this, and really in two aspects. One, the environmental side, but also the aspect that Iyad mentioned in terms of the lifestyle side, because cleaning's intrinsically tied to life. Living in, your children are going to school in, colleges, internet. If the whole kind of environment, the air that they're breathing in is healthier, then lifestyle's going to be healthier. So how can cleaning work towards the environmental side? There's a number of key principles. Cleaning, we can look at water saving is huge. 99% of any cleaning is utilizing water. If we can reduce the amount of water used in cleaning, it's huge, a huge environmental impact. Packaging reduction. So the drive is towards super concentrates, which utilize less plastic, less waste, less packaging, even looking at concepts as far as bulk chemical delivery, which is something that it's kind of an out-of-the-box thinking that is used in food factories and large-scale manufacturing plants, where you deliver chemical in bulk tanks. There's no packaging, there's no waste, and it's pumped around the site. So there's no reason that couldn't be looked at building into infrastructure in hotels. Utilizing green products, or what we call lower environmental impact products. So that's anything which has eco logo, green seal, EU eco logo, even EN registered. So any UK or European EN registered product already has a lower environmental impact. And you can take that further by going to eco-logo green seal products. And these products are designed to have minimal environmental impact on whether it be waterways, whether it be seas, but also in terms of the air that the end consumer or the customer or anyone visiting the site breathes. Then looking at things like sustainable equipment, a simple change from a normal string mop that everybody uses in their household is used significantly throughout hotels and FM companies, and moving to microfiber flat mopping systems. Microfiber uses less chemicals, uses less water, so general environmental impact is lowered. But then again, to using sustainably sourced equipment. You can buy equipment from China, from various places worldwide, that you might replace 20 times in its lifespan, when we should be looking at equipment that's going to be replaced once, maybe twice in its entire lifespan. So again, you're having less impact. And really the final thing we can do from the cleaning industry is innovation. It's something that the cleaning industry has really taken on board in probably the last 2 years, 2 to 3 years, and that's looking at more innovative ways of cleaning. Sounds very odd coming from a company that has its own chemical manufacturing plant, but looking at chemical-less cleaning, looking at systems, for example, ozone. Ozone is a new technology that's been around for many years, but hasn't really been explored fully in how it can be used in cleaning. And it's completely safe. It breaks down into oxygen and water. So you've got zero impact on the environment. So innovation is key. We should be looking at ways to minimize the amount of chemicals that we're using and make the general kind of environmental impact lower.
Thank you for adding a very unique perspective about this discussion. Iyad, would you like to add to this?
Yeah, just adding a few points to what Andrew mentioned. I think he did provide a holistic overview of how the cleaning industry can support in the sustainability goals of the kingdom. I believe that, like producing those green products, those environmentally friendly products can also not impact the environment alone, but it can also impact the lives of workers handling those chemicals. If we have chemicals or materials with like zero carcinogenic materials or zero VOCs, it will make the handling of them easier. It will have a less of a health impact on the workers and employees and the people who are susceptible to be exposed to such materials. So we should always like also not neglect the health factor and how the hygiene industry can play in that area. And again, like also looking at it from a different perspective, not like what can be achieved in terms of environment or health, we can also look at the local content and local economy. We have big players here in the kingdom in the cleaning and hygienic industry, such as Riza Hygiene. Investing more in the kingdom, maximizing their local content. This, of course, has other indirect economical benefits, which also falls under sustainability. So sustainability is not only looking at environment or looking at health, but also developing the local communities, maximizing the local content. I think this is an area which is of significant importance.
I'm glad that you raised this point, Iyad, because whenever we talk about sustainability, we often only speak about the environment. We tend to ignore the other factors, but sustainability is a lot broader than the environment, and we need to speak more about it. We need to make people more aware about it, educate people more about it.
100%.
Yeah. So, Mr. Ibrahim, if you can now speak about the role of cleaning industry, in particular housekeeping, in achieving the Saudi Sustainable Vision 2030?
Actually, not that far. That what has been well said from what I have heard now, it's almost the same. But what I can add is not only the chemical itself. Yes, the chemical itself and the concentration of every single chemical has been updated to be matched with sustainable vision, and using eco-labeling system or eco-labeling chemical or even green products. All these items is great. So this is on paper are really appreciated. But what I can really add here, the way of working with this chemical. We are in housekeeping or in a cleaning sector. If we are using this chemical properly in a proper way, we will help implementing the vision of the sustainability. So if you're using the proper chemical, proper time for the proper reason, so in this case, you will save time, you will save effort, you will save manning, you will save payroll, you will save everything. So the way of usage of this chemical is very important. And to use the sustainable chemical in a proper way, not only the timing or not only the concentration, but for what reason you are using this chemical. We are always giving the staff or the team lots of on-job training about using proper chemical for proper reasons. If you are using this one, you will use less and you will save time, you will save effort. By the end of the day, you will save money as well. So this is one of the point can be added to all what has been well said.
Thank you, Mr. Ibrahim. Now coming towards my next question, as we adapt to new and sustainable ways of operating the cleaning industry, we are sure to face some challenges. So what are the challenges that the cleaning industry you think will face as it switches to sustainable technologies, practices, and solutions? Andrew, if you could take that first.
Okay. Ibrahim said it very, very well in his last point. Probably the biggest challenge we're going to face is training and understanding from the end user. It's being sustainable doesn't have to just essentially mean changing your products or changing your equipment or using new innovation. It can be from very basic principles in terms of very simply moving to auto dosing, using the right amount of chemical for the right use, using the right chemicals in the right area. It's the biggest challenge we will face. And we already are facing that as we're making the change within certain sectors to more sustainable concepts is an understanding and a training within the end user and within the customer that the very basic principles, i.e. changing your standard operating procedures to a more sustainable practice are the biggest way forward in terms of sustainable practice. So it's really a training exercise The more training, the more understanding that we can get to the end user, then the more sustainable they will be. And there's also a little bit as well of overcoming a fear of new concepts and new innovation. People are scared to change what they've used for tens of years, hundreds of years in some cases. I mean, I know people that still use lemon juice on griddles because it works. Now, why do they use it? Because it's worked. So it might be something that has been passed down from family to family, and anything new scares people. So there's a lot of new concepts that we're looking to introduce, that we're exploring in Reza Hygiene, and I know other people within the industry are doing the same. And it's trying to get over that fear of the unknown. And if it's new, it's scary sometimes, but we've got to embrace the change and accept that change is good. That's what Vision 2030 is all about. It's change and embracing the change and making improvements within the community, within the kingdom, within the lifestyle, within the environment.
Certainly, I completely agree with you when you say that people resist change because they have been used to a particular way of working or a particular way of cleaning. And when a new disruptive technology or a disruptive solution comes into play, they are very reluctant to adopt it. And that shouldn't be the case. And I think we can greatly resolve it through training, through educating people. Sustainability is a topic that needs a lot of education. It's there, it's coming, but I don't think it's quite there yet. So Iyad, what are your thoughts about this? What challenges do you think the cleaning industry will face as it switches to sustainable technologies and solutions?
Yeah, no, just to add to what Andrew just mentioned, I think he summarized it beautifully there. There is, of course, resistance to any new technology. And often sometimes, of course, when we think about the hygiene and cleaning industry, there are some really sophisticated industries where they need specific standards, but we also should not neglect the other areas and sectors where hygiene and the cleaning industry or practice is just a standard practice where they don't see that it's an area of innovation where they can expand and enhance it more. So just to add, I think what can really solve this challenge and help us tackle it is the capacity building, enhancing the capacities and the capabilities of people, of day-to-day workers and people who are dealing with those cleaning and hygienic practices in their day-to-day activities. And of course, trying to also materialize or help them materialize the economical benefit. I think if we try with the economic benefit on how can this be translated to an economical benefit or a financial figure, let's say, I think this would ease the transition and would help end users, customers, vendors, etc., understand the benefits of sustainable hygiene, let's say.
Thank you so much, Iyad. Mr. Ibrahim, you are an end user, you are in the hospitality industry, and you deal with a lot of staff who cleans, who's actually the front face of cleaning. So what challenges do you think your staff will face, or similar housekeeping staff will face as it switches to sustainable technologies, practices and solutions, of course?
Actually, the big challenge we faced already for the sustainable or even other action plans was the Corona during the last 2 years. Corona has stopped all our plans or all our investment or all our let's say operational plans during the last 2 years. Everything almost was stopped, and even so many hotels was totally or almost closed due to this pandemic or this action. And during this 2 years pandemic, many plans has been stopped dramatically. And also one of the challenges we face in this one, we need sometimes, and now things are getting better, and especially with updated information that Saudi Arabia has stopped many of the coronavirus. Alhamdulillah, everything goes better now. So we need sometimes to get some investment, to get some money, to get some business. Then we start again to work with every halted or every postponed plan. That was one of the biggest challenge, business and income, and of course the market challenges as well. so many people which we already trained before, and we have taught them the benefits and the way of working, the proper training. So many people has left already from the market and from the hotels, and so many people already left to their country. So now we are working with new generations. We give training again, we explain again, we give all the information in terms of sustainability or cleaning standard or everything. So I'm sure sometimes business will be back to normal life, then all these challenges will be stopped, and we will implement, or of course we started implementing sustainable in terms of chemical or information or training, but I'm sure it will take some time to be as normal as before Corona.
Of course. Now you raised a very interesting point, Mr. Ibrahim, that when the pandemic started, all the focus shifted from sustainability to infection control. Now that we are 2 years into the pandemic, how do you plan to strike the balance between the two? How do you plan to strike a balance between infection control and sustainability as a housekeeper?
Actually, I was just coming from on-job training workshop now. I was informing the team, because we are huge property here. We are 1,500 guest rooms and plus 3 other hotels. So we are almost then 3,000 guest rooms in one place. So we're giving the staff the information. This is not the end of everything. Corona is not end, and other viruses is not end, and life. And we have here, especially in Mecca, we are meeting so many different nationalities at the same time. So it's became as lifestyle. Lifestyle means we need to continue protecting ourselves, protecting our guests, and protecting our hotels as well, and protecting our environment. So became things of in terms of masks or using sanitization or the way of cleaning, the procedures of safety. The name might be changes, but the what actions we are taking will continue as it is. We will not stop sanitizing our guest rooms. We will not stop taking care of our staff. We will not stop taking care of our guests, especially we're still having some challenges. And in terms of hygiene, it's never stopping, especially in housekeeping. Housekeeping should protect himself first, and if he protects himself, he will protect the guest, he will protect the family, and even normal life. Yes, you are totally right, because now we have infection and we have sustainability. Now they are both right. They are both working in the same time. If we are implementing, we can implement all sustainability vision in a proper way, using proper chemical, using proper sanitization. So our lifestyle in hotels has been totally changing, and even our guest expectation now has totally different. Our guests now is coming to hotels expected from us type of level of cleaning, different type of level of sanitization, different type of way even dealing in restaurants or in public area. So now hotels has been totally changing than before, and we adapted with this one. We keep teaching our staff, and during the last 2 years, we gave in Accor International, we are using the word of all safe. All safe means every single one should be safe. Housekeeping, staff, front office, all hotel departments, guests, citizen, everyone. So we are working to keep everyone safe. So it's became lifestyle.
I agree. I think the housekeeping departments across the world have done a commendable job in trying to keep the guests safe in hotels, and they've really made a significant difference in how secure guests feel when they travel.
Exactly.
So my next question is about the cost factor. Now, we've often heard from not only from housekeeping professionals, but many other subject matter experts that green solutions or sustainable solutions we would adopt. We would like to embrace them, but they are expensive. That they're not cost effective. That they interfere with our budgets. So, Mr. Andrew, a manufacturer's perspective here. I can see a smile on your face.
It's a great question, and it's something that we come up against every single day. And obviously, I look after a sales team of 40 plus people across all of Saudi, and they get this every single day. Now, and this kind of goes back to our previous question in terms of challenges. It's a challenge that we've got to educate the end user in terms of return on investment now, and the fact that green doesn't mean expensive. In the old days, if you were to take, bottle A versus bottle B, they'd look at the price and go, well, it's twice the price. Nowadays, and this is almost something we can thank COVID for, because COVID, if there was anything good to come out of COVID, was it accelerated R&D into the cleaning industry. There was a lot of acceleration in research and development within our industry. So nowadays, green chemicals are super concentrates. So, but you get double, triple the amount of dilution rate out of what you would have previously. You've also got to look at, in terms of the basic principles of sustainability. One of the most simplest form of sustainable cleaning is water reduction. Now, it used to be a bit of a joke when I came to the Middle East 10 years ago that water was more expensive than fuel. I don't think it is anymore, but it used to be. Now, water still is the most expensive component of your cleaning. Now, if you can reduce your cleaning within a basic mop bucket of 10 litres and only use 2 litres within that cleaning task, you're saving 8 litres of water. That's significantly more saving than any cost that an increase in chemical would be. You've also got to look at things like sustainable solutions in terms of equipment. If I name, and I don't really want to name brands, but I'm going to name Dyson just because they are so ahead of the curve in terms of this. You take a Dyson hand dryer, it pays for itself in 6-7 months in terms of paper savings. So you've always got to look at, when you're looking at sustainable cleaning, what is my return on investment? I might be spending a little bit more on day one, but throughout the year, I'm going to be saving on water. I might be saving on chemical. I might be saving on paper. I might be saving on energy because you're using less hot water. I might be saving on manpower even. So all of these things have got to be taken into account when looking at sustainability. The old days of just looking at chemical A versus chemical B is completely out the window. When you're looking at any new chemical system, any new concept, you've got to look at what your return is going to be, look at cost in use, look at dilution rates, look at water savings, even look at your waste. The amount of waste produced, if you're using less packaging, there's going to come a time where we potentially might have to recycle all the waste. I know we're getting questions about that on a lot of the mega projects where we've got to do full circle. So we supply the product gets supplied, the packaging gets recycled. Anything where you can reduce that is going to lower your overall costs. So there's so many aspects to it than rather than just looking at chemical A versus chemical B. If I'll be very honest, if I walk into a site and that's their first question, I very quickly just my brain switches off and I think, well, you're not going to understand the concepts I'm going to tell you if you're looking at simply the cost of this versus the cost of that. Buy one broom and make it last 5 years rather than buy 20 brooms in that 5-year period. You very quickly save money. So it's an interesting topic, but it requires the consumer, the end user, the customer partner to really buy into it and understand exactly what their costs are. And as soon as they understand that, they can realize that going green could actually save them money. And in more instances than not, basic green sustainable concepts do save you money. Maybe not on day one, but certainly within 6 to 12 months.
Certainly. Iyad, what is your opinion about this?
Yeah, just to translate what Andrew just mentioned, like from a business perspective, indeed, buying the right materials, the right cleaning materials, the more sustainable ones really has a direct or an indirect effect to your business continuity. It minimizes the risks. Yeah, you kind of make sure that you have a sustainable supply chain. You are minimizing the risks that are associated with using non-sustainable or like non-green products, let's say. So indeed, like this understanding of such benefit can actually help, overcome the cost factor. And the green products and green products in general is still a new thing, and as time progresses, the cost of those products and solutions is gonna go down. It's basically the principles of economics of scales. So I'm sure that in the future we're gonna see a transition and a better understanding of among customers and end users on the benefits of using such products. And also, like, you might be surprised, but this might be like visible more towards millennials, but there is big growing awareness amongst like end users in particular, and a lot of them are actually aiming to spend more if they know that their product or the thing that they are buying is creating positive impact and having less of a negative or harmful impact on the environment. So there is that type of awareness. We kind of understand that, that we cannot take our planet for granted. We have limited resources. We need to kind of find ways to optimize our use. And of course, using green and sustainable products is certainly a way to kind of tackle that.
Certainly, this wave of awareness is increasing day by day, and of course, it will impact our lifestyles. And as it impacts lifestyles, it will impact even the cleaning industry, even the commercial cleaning industry.
100%.
Mr. Ibrahim, now you will have a very unique perspective to add to this. What is your opinion? Do you think sustainable products, technologies, and solutions are not cost effective, or that they add to the cost crunch in any way?
As generally speaking, it's not that big project we can talk about. But let's be realistic. Let's be on the floor. Yes, hotels now, like the patient who is trying to be fully recovered by about 2 years disease. So let's be realistic about this one. And because the cost issue for us, it's already a hot topic already, and we are talking about this one on daily basis. So to be realistic, this is not the real time to suggest a new technology for sustainability or to suggest a new tool for sustainability. We can do whatever we can in terms of normal cleaning, normal eco labeling or green products, or the things that we can do on daily basis. And of course, it's already saving time and in proper way. And as I have explained, if we are using the right chemical in the right time, it will save a lot. But this is not the real time for suggesting new technology or suggesting new, let's say I saw in YouTube a kind of machine can walk in the wall and can wash the outsider glasses in one pot. No, this is not the real time. We need sometimes to have some business again. And of course, in hotels and hospitality field, we are on the opposite side. Means we have budget, we have cost, we have business. All of them are related together. When we have business, we can increase our budget, we can take some cost. But this is the real life. We have to work professionally in this one. We take care about clients, we can take care about guests, using the right product, not affecting the quality. But in the same time, as professional leader, we are putting in our mind our manning, our budgeting, our targets, our profitability, all these items are there. So yes, it's a little bit sensitive, but we are doing matched with the business we have.
Thank you, Mr. Ibrahim. We now have a question from the audience. Mr. Hasnan Gandhi asks, green products are available. What kind of certifications you need in KSA? Would anybody like to answer?
I mean, certifications in KSA, really, there's 2 worldwide certifications that are probably the industry leaders, and that's Ecologo and Green Seal. The Green Seal used to be probably the highest. Ecologo has now taken over it in terms of the most industry recognized, worldwide recognized approval is Ecologo. And what these mean is there's anything with Ecologo has the lowest environmental impact. So he had mentioned earlier about lower VOCs, within the chemical. That's what anything that has green seal and eco logo has. So really, if you're looking to move towards a green chemical, it should have at the bare minimum eco logo or green seal. But that doesn't mean there is certain chemicals that you will never get eco logo or green seal on them, purely because the chemical components within them don't enable it to. For example, a surface sanitizer that contains quaternary ammonium compound, which is 95% of the surface sanitizers worldwide, you're never going to get eco logo or green seal because its general nature is to kill. It kills bacteria. But what you should look for at the bare minimum is anything that is EN registered. So in terms of chemical development, you have European standard and let's say US standard. European standard is up here, US is down here. Europe, we had to redevelop all of our chemicals probably 18, 19 years ago when I was a young chemist. Redevelop all our chemicals because of Biocidal Products Directive and a directive called REACH, which meant we had to already develop all the chemicals to have lower environmental impact. So I would say really, if you want to go in terms of scale, go eco logo, green seal, and at the very least it should be EN registered, i.e. a chemical that is manufactured under European legislation and rules. Otherwise, anything else you can't really trust, to be honest.
I hope that answers your question, Hasnan. So coming towards the next point of discussion, Andrew, if you could tell us, how has client awareness with regard to sustainability changed over the past few years?
It's, to be absolutely honest, it's been fantastic. I cannot walk into, and I think I'd love to pick Miad's brains on this at some point, because I cannot walk into a meeting nowadays without being instantly asked on sustainability and environmentally friendly products. Now, Reza, we're almost market leaders in the fact that we were the first people to bring eco logo green seal products to the kingdom 10 years ago because KSA and Saudi Aramco asked us for them. But the scope and extension of that beyond those two companies was minimal. People just didn't understand. 10 years ago, they were very expensive green chemicals. And then with the bringing in of Vision 2030, with the growth of the mega projects and the kind of the push that they are having towards sustainability, we have had to completely change. We were already a very innovative company, but we've had to become more so. And, you know, it's something he had mentioned earlier as well about the Made in Saudi, local products. So there's a new initiative, a Made in Saudi initiative, which is fantastic. We are obviously fall under that category. So we're getting most of our products approved under the Made in Saudi initiative as well. So we're actually getting clients asking us, where does our stuff come from? A lot of them, new clients often don't realize that it's produced in Saudi. We're getting clients asked us, where does the dosing equipment come from? Where does the, what are the sustainability concepts of our partners that we partner with, our supplier partners? So it really has been a great evolution in the last couple of years. I'd say the biggest drivers are facility management companies. They seem to be really, really on top of understanding sustainable cleaning and hygiene, and they're asking for it. Number two on that would be, Ibrahim, the hotels, where we're getting hotels ask us again, how can we be more sustainable? So we're working, for example, with Red Sea as their one of their partners in their hotels to really try and
we always keep asking, my friend, don't worry.
Good, keep asking, because basically clients asking us drives the industry. And it's just been so refreshing. I had a large gym chain in the other day asking us all about sustainable concepts. I was in hospitals today, and to see that across the industry is amazing. I honestly, I like to think it's happening elsewhere, but certainly I'm very impressed with how Saudi and particularly the different industry sectors have embraced Vision 2030 and sustainability.
Thank you, Andrew. Iyad, would you like to add to this?
Yeah. Just adding a few points, as Andrew mentioned, like, end user awareness is growing a lot. We're starting to realize that we cannot keep taking the planet for granted. There are limited resources. We need to minimize our carbon footprint. We need to minimize our environmental impact. But again, like a different perspective to look at it is also an investors driven perspective. Investors now, they are like, when looking at companies, they are not only considering their financial performance, they are also looking at their non-financial, or let's say their sustainable or ESG performance. And companies, they are aware that this performance matters for investors. It matters for them as a brand reputation. So I think that those two main drivers is what's making this this awareness really growing. Is like, we need to minimize our resources, we need to minimize our environmental impact. And again, ESG and sustainability can actually influence investors and can influence the flow of capital generally.
Thank you for sharing. Mr. Ibrahim, what strategic and sustainable changes would you recommend in the cleaning processes of hotels to align with the Saudi sustainable vision?
Actually, it's a big issue, not big issue. We are working with this one, but we have already our own strategies to implement it, and it's not surprising in hospitality. And this is not very new thing, because we are working since this one. Even since I was in Egypt, we were implementing so many points of sustainability. But what's the difference here? That the social media lately, they were giving the information for Saudi people here about the vision and about the importance of sustainability. So everybody here knows about sustainability. We in hospitality, now the expectation, we were talking a few minutes ago about the awareness of clients or the awareness of guests. Yes, the guest now is totally different. The expectation of the guest now is totally not like before. He is coming now expecting our sustainability steps. He knows already from social media, from different websites, from the media here in Saudi Arabia. They always talking about the vision of 2030, and most of the people knows exactly about this strategy. So let's say in hospitality, yes, we have some plans, some strategies. And I like the way of not specific plans for a specific type. Again, it's a type of lifestyle, not only for a specific sector, it's everywhere. So everywhere here, or every sector here, has its own plans to implement the sustainability vision, and they are able to do it. So now it became normal function, and became every single guest can come, or every single client, or even the normal people in the street knows exactly what is sustainability and what they are expected from you to do. So it's became lifestyle everywhere. So every sector has to be ready for this, departmental or sector or big people team, or any other departmental training managers. We have different aspects to implement all this with our own strategies and with our own plans.
Thank you so much for adding this unique perspective, Mr. Ibrahim. Now, coming to my last question for this panel, what are the opportunities that will open up for the cleaning industry in Saudi Arabia as a direct consequence of the Saudi Sustainable Vision 2030? Andrew, if you could take that first.
I think the biggest opportunities are growth within the industry. If we're going to become more sustainable, more environmentally friendly, then there's got to be more local growth. So there's got to be more opportunities in terms of training centers, manufacturing facilities within the kingdom, anything directly impacting cleaning and the industry in terms of manpower, in terms of anything local, essentially. If you're going to have a complete drive towards sustainability, the best way you can do that is buy local, produce local, train local, utilize local teams. There's going to be a lot of kind of openings in terms of if new innovation comes. So new technological advances require more expertise. So we're looking at some very innovative things in terms of, completely outside of the box thinking. There's a lot of new kind of machinery, looking at, say, the Tesla version of street sweepers. At the moment, there's probably no one within the kingdom that can effectively work or, work on these types of machines. Now, the growth of the cleaning industry of new sustainable concepts is going to require more expertise. And it's often very, very hard. It's not an industry that people see as a glamorous industry, but there's no reason why it shouldn't be. I've been in the industry myself for 19 years. There's a lot of people within the industry that have been in many more years than myself. And we really need to get a lot of younger blood, younger new graduates, and make them understand that the cleaning industry can be an exciting industry. It's not cleaning toilets and cleaning floors, though that is part of it, and we all get involved in that, but it's an exciting, innovative industry. And if we're going to support Vision 2030 and support Saudi Arabia in hitting a lot of these environmental concepts, then we need to see growth within the industry from a younger generation. And I think that's the biggest opportunity that I can see, is that if there are a younger generation out there that really want to have an impact in Vision 2030, in supporting the environment, they should get involved in industries like research and development, like development chemistry, whether it be the cleaning and FM industry, but they need to get involved. And that's where I see the biggest opportunities for the younger generation, but also the kingdom, is just growth in internal support and production within the industry.
Thank you, Andrew. Would anybody else like to add to this, Iyad or Mr. Ibrahim?
Yeah, if you'd allow me to add,
yes,
Samia, like adding to what Andrew just mentioned, and like looking at how COVID affected the tourism industry, I believe that, that things are starting to open up bit by bit. Having more tourists is going to drive more demand for the hospitality, real estate sector. As the sector grow, of course, the cleaning industry is always going to be an enabler or a driver for such industries to kind of achieve or realize their sustainability goals by providing more sustainable solutions, by helping them reduce the water use. So there's a big opportunity there for the cleaning and the hygiene industry. And again, I think for them to kind of exploit such opportunity, they need to position themselves as drivers, helping companies and entities achieving their sustainability goals by reducing their environmental impact. And of course, to what Andrew just mentioned, how they can contribute to the local economy. So yeah.
Thank you so much. We are really short on time now, but looks like we have covered almost all of our questions. Thank you so much for joining us today, Andrew, Mr. Ibrahim, and Iyad. With that, the second day of Synergy series comes to an end, and what a day this has been. We hope our sessions helped you gain perspective on two important aspects of the commercial cleaning market in Saudi Arabia, that is infection control and sustainability. I'd like to take this moment to thank our title sponsor, Wasco, diamond sponsor, Riza Hygiene, segment sponsor, Initial Saudi Group, gold sponsors, Shabib and Facilio, and silver sponsor, Torque. We'll see you again tomorrow for some exciting conversations spanning the waste and recycling industries. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Bye.